Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Build a Figure Stilt-Man wave, or at least the figures I chose to get from the wave. I got Marvel's Frogman, Miles Morales as Spider-Man, Peter Parker as Spider-Man, and then 4 of the Hand Ninjas. You may wonder, why do you need 4 Hand Ninjas? Well, you can never have too many ninjas. So let's go and check out the packaging here. As you can see, Frogman, Marvel Legends by Hasbro. Here he is on both sides, looking crazy. At the bottom, there is a barcode in case that helps anybody. And at the back, here's the rest of the wave. Here's the barcode for Miles Morales. And here's the barcode for Peter Parker. And last but not least, here's the barcode for the Hand Ninja. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. Each one of these figures comes with a piece to build the Stilt-Man character. And I didn't get the entire wave, which is a shame. I got 4 out of the 6 figures. Seems like I should have got the other 2 to build Stilt-Man, but I must confess, I don't really have any interest in building Stilt-Man, and I didn't want the other 2 figures in the wave. So we have Frogman. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. Then we have Miles Morales. He also comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, and he has 2 different heads. Then there's Peter Parker with 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, 2 alternate heads, and a cup of soda. Then we have the Hand Ninjas. They have 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 hands. They've got 2 little sickles and a sword. In this video, we'll take a look at each one of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation. We'll compare them to other relevant figures. And then we'll check out all these figures compared with other action figure lines so you can see which ones they mix in good with. So, let's start off the review with Frogman. So here's Frogman. Like I said before, he does come with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. I don't personally know much about Frogman. I got this figure because, frankly, he looked cool. When reading at Wikipedia, it turned out his father was a villain named Leapfrog. He ended up going to jail, and then his son found the costume and became Frogman. Basically told himself he's going to prevent his father from being haunted by the Leapfrog by becoming Frogman in that costume and becoming a hero. So let's go ahead and look at the figure. As you can see, his face, got the eyes on top. His frog head is a big mask. You can see the human eyes sticking out of the mouth. Looks really cool. Looks really corny. I like it. I think this guy's going to fit in with my Fortnite figures great. He just looks like a wild and crazy figure. I like it. Going further down, got these light green underwear and strap across him. The gloves. The backpack, which is not removable. Then he's got these big water shoes down here, these flippers. You can see he's got the little springs underneath. When his father was Leapfrog, he was an inventor, created these springs to be able to jump up. Hence Leapfrog and Frogman. All these little designs on his suit. Looks pretty good. Looks like double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. He looks a little fat, a little chunky. Very appropriate. Looks like a cool, crazy, wonderful figure, and that's exactly why I got him. And here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the Stilt-Man pieces, as they don't actually belong to Frogman. So he comes with the left arm of Stilt-Man. Looks pretty cool, metallic. He also comes with an alternate hand, which is a fist. Then he has a little pistol or laser weapon for Stilt-Man. Now let's check out his hands. He comes with 4 of them. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here he is with his second pair of hands. These are some open hands. They might be able to hold something large. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.5 inches tall, which can translate to about 16.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down about that far. You can tilt a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrist can rotate and it's hinged as well. He's got a ball joint in the middle of his torso here. Can rotate around. Can also go forward and back a whole bunch. Legs on ball joints. They can go out about this far. Forward, about that far. Back, not too much. Got a thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. He's got a boot cut up here. Then his ankle goes up and down. And he can tilt and rock as well. Now let's check him out. Compared to his other action figures, this guy could make a crazy grade D Batman villain. He could be a great Aquaman, either villain or hero. And like I said before, I think he'll go great in my Fortnite collection with all those crazy looking characters. Here he is, next to a bunch of different Jazzwares Fortnite figures in their crazy themed costumes. And here he is, next to a Mattel Suicide Squad Joker henchman named Panda Man, also in a crazy themed costume. Now let's look at Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse. He's sort of in civilian clothing with a Spider-Man costume underneath. We'll say, I think his head sculpt looks pretty good. His hair looks pretty nice as well. He's got that hoodie on, jacket on top of that, his black gloves, a black Spider-Man outfit below his shorts, red tennis shoes, looks like double jointed knees, single jointed elbows. You can see the spider logo on the inside, different layers of his outfit, pretty cool. And here's a figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. It does feel like you could take the jacket and the hoodie off, but the fact that his arms have the jacket sleeves on them, it's not going to look good if you do either one of those things. Now let's check out his accessories. First of all, he does come with this piece of Stilt-Man. It goes behind his head, not exactly a helmet. Now let's check out Miles' accessories, and let's start off with his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here he is with his next pair of hands. These are his web-slinging hands. Now let's check out his heads. He has two of them, one unmasked and one with the Spider-Man mask on. Here he is with his first head. This is his unmasked Miles Morales head. And here he is with his Spider-Man mask on. Now let's check out his height. This guy's a little bit shorter than some of the other Marvel Legends figures, as he's supposed to be a teenager in the film. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 5.75 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 14.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down about that far, not too bad. You can tilt from side to side to give you a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. You can go out more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. No bicep cut, but he does have rotation at the top of the elbow. Single jointed elbow goes in about that far. His wrist can rotate and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got a traditional ab crunch in the middle here. You can go forward and back. Waist swivel down below. It's actually sort of a ball joint to go forward and back and rotate. Legs go out about this far. Ball joints. Then go forward about that far. Back, really not at all. He's got rotation under his shorts. Double jointed knees go back all the way. Then his foot here. It can tilt and rock. And it can go up and down. Here he is, next to a traditional Spider-Man figure. Now let's look at Peter Parker, or Spider-Man, the slob or slacker version. So he comes with 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, 2 heads, a cup of soda, and Stilt-Man's head. So let's check out the figure. Starting at the top, hair a little bit messy, not fully shaven, a little bit of scruff there. Going further down, his jacket looks just fine. He's got a Spider-Man costume underneath, the traditional red and blue. Looks like double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. You can see he's in sort of sweatpants They don't even go all the way down to shoes. Mismatched shoes at that. A lot of attention to detail. Looking pretty cool. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. Let's start off with Stilt-Man's head. As you can see, it's got the silver helmet, the long antennas. Now let's check out the accessories that are actually intended for Peter Parker, and let's start off with his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists, and they have the Spider-Man gloves on. And his next pair of hands here, these are his web-slinging hands. And then his last pair of hands, these ones have the gloves off. His right hand has a very large grip that's going to be able to hold his cup, and his left hand is pretty much completely flat. Now let's take a look at his heads. He has one with the mask off, and one with the mask semi-on, kind of over the top of his head. Here he is with his first unmasked Peter Parker head. And here he is with the head with the mask halfway on. Now let's look at his fountain drink. It's a white cup. It's got a blue and a yellow stripe on it. It's got the straw on the top. And here he is holding his cup. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.6 inches tall, which is going to translate to a little bit under 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, he's going to rotate from side to side. Look up about that far, down about that far. Very impressive. Not only is it a ball joint in his head, but his neck has a little bit of a hinge in it as well. Shoulders on a ball joint, go about more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrist here can rotate and it's hinged as well. He's got a ball joint in his torso here. It can rotate. Let's go forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist. It can rotate and also go forward and back, but not by too much. Legs on ball joints. Think about this far. Forward about that far. Back not too much. Got a thigh cut. Double jointed knees below that. And then his foot here. He's got rotation below the pant. His ankles, they can go up and down, and they can tilt and rock as well. Here he is next to a traditional Spider-Man figure, and here he is next to a Peter Parker figure. Then next to a few different J. Jonah Jameson figures. Here he is with a Gwen Stacy figure, and here he is with a bunch of different Mary Jane figures. Now let's check out the Hand Ninja. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, 2 scythes, a sword, then he has the 2 legs of Stilt-Man, and a display stand for Stilt-Man. I got 4 of these Hand Ninjas, because you can never have too many ninjas. Army building at its finest. So let's check him out. He's got the red hood, the red facial covering, this strap across his chest with the sheath on the back for his sword. Overall, the red ninja outfit, the black belt, looks great. He's got those shoes with the little area between the toes that ninjas often have. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. He looks great. I can get a lot of different uses out of this guy as a generic ninja and a bunch of different things. And here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. And here are all 4 of the Hand Ninjas, broken down as far as they can go. Now let's check out his accessories. So first of all, he has this clear display stand intended for Stilt-Man. Stilt-Man being so tall, it's going to be a little bit hard to keep him standing up. It's got 4 different pegs for the peg holes on his feet. Then we've got the actual legs of Stilt-Man. Very, very long. A little bit of articulation at the bottom. It can rotate, and his ankles can actually go forward and back a little bit. Now this is the best accessory I could get with the 4 different Hand Ninjas. I now have 8 of these different legs, and they could probably work for some pipes or something like that in the background of some display. Now let's look at the accessories actually intended for the Hand Ninja, and let's start off with the hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are some open hands. They could be some grabbing hands perhaps. And then his next pair of hands. These These are a couple of gripping hands. Now let's look at a sword. It's got the silver blade at the top, and it's got the black handle with some nice sculpting detail at the bottom. Here he is, holding his sword. He can hold it with either one hand or with two. And here's his sword, holstered into the sheath on his back. Now let's look at his little scythe. It's got the silver blade up here, and then it's got a nice amount of sculpting detail on the handle. Here he is, holding his two scythes. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.8 inches tall, which is going to translate to a little bit over 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, you can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down just a little bit. Can tilt, but not very much. Shoulders on a ball joint, you can go out about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows below that. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got a ball jointed torso, can rotate around, go forward and back. He's got another, almost, not exactly a ball joint, it's almost like an ab crunch down here, go forward and back. Legs go about this far, they're on ball joints. Forward about that much, back not too much. Thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. He's got a boot cut. Then his feet, they go up, down, and they can tilt and rock as well. Here he is, next to a Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Red Ninja from the Cobra team. And here they are next to a couple of Hasbro Marvel Legends Ronin figures. Then, next to some Mafex, Ra's al Ghul, or League of Shadows members. And here, next to a couple of DC Direct Nightfall Mask of Tengu figures. Then, next to a couple of DC Direct, Arrow, Dark Archer, League of Shadows members. And here, next to a couple of NECA, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie foot soldiers. And now let's check them out, compared with some action figures from different various companies, to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Here they are with some of their Hasbro brothers. Here they are with some other Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. Then, here they are with some more Hasbro figures. Here they are next to some Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified figures. And here they are next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Now, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. And here they are next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And here they are next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here they are, next to some McFarlane toys. And finally, here they are next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. So overall, it's a pretty cool action figure set. Frogman is just crazy and weird, that makes him cool. Peter Parker is probably my favorite from the wave. He's also just a very different take on Peter Parker. Miles Morales is also pretty cool. A younger, smaller teenager from a pretty cool film. And then the hand ninjas. Where can you go wrong? 4 more ninjas, army building for my action figure world. So this is the D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.